What a Monday night football game as Detroit football is all the way back, and the Baltimore Ravens start this season the same way they did last year, 1-2 with a very suspect defense. The Lions pick up the 38-30 victory on Monday Night Football. There's a lot of angles to talk about this game, a lot of different things to talk about. I want to start with Detroit, give them their flowers. Run, Detroit Lions, run. 224 rushing yards in this freaking game, 6 yards per carry, 4 rushing touchdowns. This is the Detroit Lions style of football. This is the brand of football Dan Campbell wants to run. And I get it, Matabuke was out, and that was clearly evident and clearly a huge loss for that interior and just that defensive line as a whole for the Baltimore Ravens. But man, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, seeing what you saw to that interior offensive line with Glasgow and Ratledge and new faces and no Ben Johnson and every which way, had to make you feel great. Obviously, last week, the Detroit Lions just beat the dog piss out of the Bears. But this win on Monday Night Football, on the road, in Baltimore, has to really make Lions fans feel like we're good. Hey, man, we're good. Because week one, lost to the Packers, they dominated you, they look like a Super Bowl threat. Then you beat up on the Bears, and last week you're kind of like, the Bears are a bad football team. This is a defining victory for the Detroit Lions. This is a victory that says, hey, we're still the Detroit freaking Lions. Our Super Bowl window is still open. We still have one of the most talented rosters in the football. And oh yeah, by the way, our identity to bully and win in the trenches and rely on these backs, Montgomery and Gibbs, that shit's still hitting. And it was hitting hard tonight in Baltimore. The defensive line as well. The trenches for Detroit in this football game. I got to switch to the stats here because I want to show this off here. The sacks in this game, Muhammad, 2.5, absolute beast. 7 total sacks in this game for the Detroit Lions defense. Campbell, Barnes, Muhammad, Anzalone gets in, Hutchinson also had that fumble force. Noah Socket, like the team was legit. 3 quarterback hits for Muhammad, 7 total on the day there too. For Detroit, this defensive performance against Lamar, Henry, Andrews, Flowers, the fact that your defense, which its biggest problem the first 2 weeks has been getting pressure, getting sacks, the fact that they were able to eat and feast like this against one of the league's best, shiftiest quarterbacks, has to make you feel great as a Lions fan. I mean, everything in this game for Detroit. Jared Goff outplayed Lamar Jackson, and this is a prime example here of where stats don't tell the full story. Because you come in here, Lamar's got more passing yards, more touchdowns, higher passer rating. I'm telling you right now, anybody who watched that game damn well knows Jared Goff outplayed Lamar Jackson. Lamar didn't have a good game. Lamar did not play his best football. The fact that this is his passer rating is pretty astonishing. It's because he was just willing to hold it and get sacked and not throw the ball away and not run up incompletions. I don't think that was a good game for Lamar at all. I think that Jared Goff thoroughly outplayed him and constantly made plays every time he needed to, and Lamar struggled to do so. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It is what it is. This win for Detroit was an exclamation point early on in the season. They had doubters. Shit, after week 1, I was a doubter. And they came in this game a point to prove. And every one of their key players checked a big box. Jared Goff shows up in a big spot. Check. Montgomery, Gibbs, that rushing duo. David Montgomery might have had the game of his life in this game. I mean, that's on the board. 12 for 151 and 2. Had that 72-yard run. Amon-Ra, 7 for 77 and 1 touchdown. It might not get more consistent than Amon-Ra in the NFL. In terms of availability and what he does out there week to week, it may not get more consistent at the receiver position. Jameson Williams, a couple big catches. Sam Laporta was nice on 3rd down for them a couple of times. And like I mentioned, this defensive performance, if you are Detroit, has to make you feel very, very good about what you're rocking with. Terry and Arnold, still a little, suspect. I think they maybe should make a move for a corner when we get to the deadline. But for Detroit and Detroit football fans, man, you have to leave this game feeling excellent. For Baltimore, like I mentioned, Lamar Action Jackson didn't play his best football despite what the stats say. I don't know. I haven't seen the all 22. I don't exactly know what was down there, what was available, what wasn't, but this wasn't Lamar's best game. A lot of standing around in the pocket, a lot of happy feet, a lot of not being able to escape the Detroit, edge rushers, defensive linemen, linebackers. They had him really just fighting for his life out there, and plays were not available to be made. They were not letting Lamar beat them. You could see it in the rushing. 7 for 35. That ain't a big day for Lamar. Not by any stretch. Not by any stretch. Derrick Henry, 3 straight games with a fumble now. 2 games that he has fumbled away. That Buffalo game and this game, obviously they were down a touchdown, but you got Lamar Jackson, a top 3 quarterback in football. You think like, hey, we can go down there and tie this game up. And that Derrick Henry fumble, and then followed up by Detroit scoring, that pretty much slammed the door on the game. And Derrick Henry fumbled versus Buffalo too. And you could see he was frustrated on the sideline, and I'm not trying to throw no shade at the king, no disrespect at Derrick Henry. He is probably the best running back of this generation. But we got to call it how it is. We have to be honest. He cost him this football game, and he knows it, and I think he'll get better in due time. Like I mentioned, for Baltimore, this is a problem for them now, back-to-back years. 1-2. They were 0-2 to open up last year. They lose that close game by 1 point to the Chiefs, and then they blow a game to the Raiders, and they started off 1-2, and the defense was very, very suspect. We're at the same spot. They are 1-2 through 2 games against Detroit and Buffalo. They're averaging 39.5 points per game allowed, and they didn't exactly dominate Cleveland thoroughly. They were starting off slow again, which if you're a Ravens fan, like, hey, the confidence is, hey, we started off slow last year, and by the end of the season, people were picking us to go to the Super Bowl, and the defense looked right. And there's enough talent on Baltimore, and there were injuries on that defensive, front today that make me think, like, yeah, this Baltimore Ravens team has better days ahead. But you look at Buffalo 3-0, the Chargers 3-0, and a lot of teams in that AFC, Kansas City's 1-2, Denver's 1-2, Houston's 0-3, who you didn't expect, and Pittsburgh's 2-1 in your own division. And it comes time to like, hey, is Baltimore going to have home field advantage in the playoffs? Losing these games like this while the Chargers and Buffalo are winning their big games certainly isn't helpful for that. And if you're Detroit, you look at the NFC North now, you're like, we got that win over Chicago. They're 1-2. They look like they could be a player. Minnesota's 2-1, but their quarterback situation's wonky. And hey, the Packers lose to the Browns this week. We go and beat Baltimore. Detroit fans got to be feeling good. I think if you're a Detroit Lions fan, you could kind of start to feel like, maybe week 1 was a little bit of a fluke, and we just were a little underprepared. It was our first game with 8 new coaches on the coaching staff. Dan Campbell, the way that he has this team, just 1 week, really last week into this week, back to what they were last year, with 8 coaches gone. Not just both coordinators, but 8 coaches and a starting center and a brand new interior offensive line, firing on all cylinders. Last week, 50-plus points versus the Bears. This week, 38 in a dominant showing against Baltimore. Hey, man, you got to respect Detroit. I know that I was panicked on them after week 1, and hand up, I overreacted because this is still a legit Super Bowl contending team. And it's not to say that I don't think Baltimore will be, but man, it's kind of same story with Baltimore. In the big spots, they just keep coming up short. In the big spots, Lamar could put up numbers, but I don't think he's got it like he once did. Or not like he once did, but that's not the right way to word that. I just don't think he elevates in the big spots, man. I think Lamar shrinks a little in these moments. Prime time, in this spot, he shrunk tonight. To open up the season, they're slow. In the playoffs, we see a worse version of this team. And for Baltimore, you know, I've seen on some shows that they get compared to the Houston Rockets with James Harden. Lamar will put up all the numbers, but when you need him, dude's the avatar, bro, because he's vanishing. And despite what the counting stats say, I thought Lamar played a bad football game. And Detroit walks in to Baltimore, makes a statement, and wins the game. For all your NFL content, make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Every reaction to every week 3 game is now live on the channel. Be sure to check out those videos. If you made it this far in the video and you like these instant reaction style videos, hit the thumbs up button. It's a good way for me to know that you guys like it, as well as good for the little YouTube algorithm for a growing creator. I appreciate you guys' support. I will catch you tomorrow for my weekly tier list. You don't want to miss that. I'll catch you then. Peace.